Hey everyone, this is some nerdy guy back again with another video. Today's video is the one that I said in the last video was going to be a in-between pickups video, or a video to put between pickup videos, because I had one for limited run and I have a regular pickup video to do for other stuff I've been getting. But this video is going to be my 3DS collection, and this might have to be a two-parter, just like my PlayStation one. I have quite a few games. Some collector's editions, some are loose, some are Japanese imports, stuff like that. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into it. And like I said, might have to be two parts. I didn't realize how many 3DS games I actually had. I have accumulated a lot over the past like 2 years. So, and hopefully more, because there's definitely some RPGs that I haven't had a chance to buy. Those are the main ones, just some of the obscure RPG games. I have a lot of the other ones that I really wanted. And Kid Icarus Uprising, that's another big one. But anyways, and also my Sonic the Movie t-shirt, because they didn't really make a whole lot of merch for that first movie that came out. So I thought it was cool. This is actually a kid's shirt, but I got like an extra large, so it fits me pretty perfectly. It's not too small. It's like a men's medium. If you're the same size as me, a kid's XL is basically an adult's medium shirt. So cool. But I'm gonna start with my loose games. I have like this GameStop case here, and this first one is Yokai Watch 2: Bony Spirits. A lot of these I've been trying to get the cases for, and it just hasn't been working out. Mainly just the price. Like, I just don't feel like paying almost what I paid for the game. Like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not, most of them aren't a bad deal. It's just me being stubborn and like not wanting to. It's like I have the game, like, but I love having my cases, so I gotta bite the bullet at some point. Some of these I did have to complete by doing that. I had to buy the cases separately because I would buy them off GameStop and they would send just the game only. Here's a bunch of other ones. We have Donkey Kong Country 3D, which I haven't really played, mainly because I've played through the Wii version already, so I didn't really have a reason to. I just knew I wanted it for the collection. We have Puzzle Dragon Z plus the Super Mario Puzzle Dragon game. That's really cool. Fossil Fighter Frontier. Again, I would really like to have a case for this one, especially. Just have the last one that I saw, which I probably should have just bought, but I paid like $13-14 for the game, and then somebody for the case, they wanted like $30, and I was like, that's too much. I really wanted to get it for 20 or under, and I couldn't get them to that, so I haven't been able to find a case since then, so kind of kicking myself for that. Monster Hunter Generations, sorry. And then last but not least, and probably the best game out of this bunch, Tales of Abyss for 3DS. This one was also on PS2, but I don't really know which one's the better version, but it seems that the 3DS version is the more hard one to find, or at least the most valuable, so maybe that is the better version, because usually that's kind of like a telltale sign. If it's more expensive, that's the better one to get. And yeah, I think I might save the collector's editions for last. That might be what I do. I'll just go through all the regular games first. Starting with Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate. This game, I keep saying and all the fucking time. I can't just enunciate words. But this game I got at a video rental store, so mine is a little bit sun faded, which isn't really too bad because I got this for like maybe $5, and it's kind of getting harder to find. It's one of the more uncommon 3DS games, so very happy with that. So I'm trying to find a place to set these because I don't really have one right at the moment. There we go. Tomodachi Life. I didn't get into this game as much as everybody else did. It is a fun, quirky little like simulator game. But I know there's some hilarious stuff you can pull off in here with like text-to-speech and stuff like that, but I just haven't fully dove into that. Smash Bros 3DS. It was cool that this came out before the Wii U version, so all my friends bought this version so we could play it. I was in high school. I think it was my senior year or my junior year. But everybody bought this game. We were all playing it like before the first bell, before you have to go to your first class and everything. And it was just good memories. And to finally have a Smash Bros on handheld, that was like the big thing that everybody always wanted. At least my friend group, we all wanted a portable Smash Bros. So it was a blast. Absolutely love this game. I know it's not the best version, obviously. Smash Wii U was definitely better once that came out. I was way more excited to see the beautiful like HD graphics and stuff like that. So, and of course Smash Ultimate's better. We all know that. But just at the time you had to be there. It's one of those things. And then we got the Luigi's Mansion remake. I remember when this was announced, I jumped out of my seat. This is my favorite game of all time. It is not the best game of all time, but this is my absolute favorite game of all time is Luigi's Mansion. And just the fact that they took the time to do a remake or a remaster, whatever you want to call it, was mind-blowing to me. I just really wish they would have put it on the Switch instead. But I know that this came around the time that the Wii U was still around. I don't think the Switch was even announced yet, or it might have just been announced. So it was kind of in a weird area. They kind of needed to put on the 3DS because there was no way it was going to sell on the... dropped it. There was no way it was going to sell on the Wii U. And I remember back in the day, like watching all those Did You Know Gaming videos, they said that Luigi's Mansion was supposed to have a 3D feature. So I guess it made more sense to put it on 3DS. I'm just happy we got any sort of remaster of this game. It just blew my mind because I never thought that we would get this game ever again besides GameCube. Mario Maker for the 3DS. I won't lie to you, I have not touched this. This was just for the collection. The Wii U version was so much better. And then the Switch version, the sequel came along, so this has not been touched like at all. Super Mario 3D World. This was one of the first 3DS games I have ever completed. I remember, again, sitting in study hall in high school, not studying and just playing my 3DS, and this was one of the first games that I played through. It wasn't a hard game, but it was definitely a fun one, and I had the urge to play through it more because at the end of the game, I think you had to have a certain amount of the big coins or whatever, because there's always 3 hidden in every level. Got to unlock Luigi. You could play as Luigi, so had to play through the game again because I love Luigi. He's my fave. He's my homie. So that was cool. Fire Emblem Awakening. I really lucked out getting this game. It was like a year after it came out or so. Maybe a little less than that. But my friend, he bought this game for himself, and he bought a copy for his little brother to play so they could play it together. Well, his little brother had already bought the game, or already got it from somebody else or something like that for his birthday or whatever, so they just had an extra copy. So he just gave me a copy of Fire Emblem. So that was so cool. So got this game for free back in the day. Zelda Triforce Heroes, not the best. I can't really judge it that harshly because I didn't have people to play this with. So when it came out, nobody else was really interested. So I kind of just goofed around on it by myself, which you can do, but it's definitely not as fun. Chibi Robo Ziplash, we don't talk about it. Bad game. So I love Chibi Robo. First game, amazing. Like one of the coolest GameCube games ever made. The DS one was alright, and then that. I don't know what went wrong, but Animal Crossing New Leaf. Yeah, we're just going to breeze past that. I really wish I didn't have the Nintendo Selects version of it, which I know is kind of just a nitpick, but, you know, if I want to get the regular one. But this is the Amiibo compatible version as well, so can't really complain about that. Yokai Watch 2 Fleshy Souls. This is one of the 3 versions of Yokai Watch 2 that they made. The third one is like something Dark Specters or something like that. It's like really hard to find, but I have the other 2 versions. I don't know what the other one has. It's probably like Pokemon where you can get like exclusive yokai in that version of the game. Maybe the storylines are different. I really don't know. I had the first game next to me. I must have misplaced it, put it somewhere else. But Project X Zone 2. I picked this one up pretty recently. I had it in a pickup video a couple months ago because I used my birthday discount at that exchange place. Got it for really cheap. But these games are really, really cool. It's a crossover of Capcom, Bandai Namco, and Sega. And they have, it's like a fighting game, but it's also has some RPG elements in there. And then this one, I think is the reason why it's the more expensive one, is because it has inclusion of Fire Emblem characters in the game. So everybody likes their Fire Emblem, and a lot of people like their other characters. You know, you got Mega Man there. You got Rio. Is it, what is his name from Shenmue? I can't remember his name at the moment. And you got Ryu there. You got Phoenix Wright. Everybody's in the game. So cool stuff. We have Zelda: Link Between Worlds. Another sequel I never thought we would ever get from Nintendo, a sequel to Link to the Past, just having that entire style. And I'm pretty positive, if it hasn't actually been confirmed, that this is like a direct sequel, not just like similar art style that they sometimes like to do. It's actually like the same timeline and everything. So that's really awesome. This one is definitely unique. A lot of people hated it when it came out, and it was almost like a Chibi Robo Ziplash type situation, but that is Hey Pikmin. Definitely not the genre that Pikmin is normally in. It's like a 2D side-scrolling puzzle platformer game. So instead of like, you know, your 3D like RTS almost like style game like Pikmin usually is, they had this one. Which honestly, the fact that we just got another Pikmin game that wasn't a remake of 3, you know, who knows when we're getting Pikmin 4. So it was just kind of cool to have something to hold us over, even though it's been like 10 years now. This game, I absolutely love. LBX, Little Battlers Experience. I had this in that video of the 10 games I predict will go up in price. I still stick to that. It's definitely, for people who haven't watched that video, it's definitely a mix of custom Robo, if you've ever played that on the GameCube, and like Gundam, because they're like the little robots, and a little bit like Gotcha Force, which I've never played Gotcha Force, but I've seen enough gameplay of Gotcha Force that looks pretty similar. You're just in an arena and you're fighting your robots, and you can customize them like you can in that game, just different parts and pieces, completely customize your character, which is really awesome. But this game is still really cheap, so if you want it, definitely get it. It's definitely worth it. Let's see, we got Pokemon Sun, probably my least favorite generation out of all the Pokemon games, unfortunately. Just didn't really pique my interest. And I absolutely love Pokemon, so it's not like I only like Gen 1. Like, I don't know, it just didn't feel right to me. I didn't really care for it. Codename Steam. I had a pickup video where I bought this and I said I had never played it when it came out, and I knew a lot of people didn't like it when it came out, and a lot of the comments were saying that it actually is a really fun game, that they themselves played it and was really fun. So I definitely have to give it a try at some point. I still haven't gotten around to it yet. We have Fire Emblem Birthright. I still need Conquest. Again, just, you know, Fire Emblem, cool stuff. It's the game that Corrin is from, I believe. Yes, that is Corrin. And they have the special DLC where it's like a third campaign, and like the only physical release of it was in the collector's edition and all this weird stuff. I only have the regular version of the game. I can't really say much on it because I haven't played it yet. Mario Golf World Tour. I don't really like golf. Mario Golf is fun. I like playing Toadstool Tour. I like playing the Switch version, but I'd much rather just play the Switch version than this. I just, you know, collecting purposes really is all I got for you on that one. And unfortunately, the case, I ended up getting, this was one of the games that I got, no, I'm wrong. This one I just got off of Macari, because I think I had this in a pickup video too, but the case is pretty sun faded. So they probably got this, like the same thing I did, probably got it from a rental store. Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. One of the best RPGs ever. Or, I'm sorry. It's one of my favorite RPGs ever. Doesn't mean it's the best, but it's one of my favorites. I grew up with the Game Boy Advance version of this game, and it was one of the first RPGs I've ever played besides, you know, Pokemon. And just the humor in the game is something I never would have thought would have come from a Mario game. Because, you know, like, Mario and Luigi, like, they have some kind of humor in some of the other games, but, like, you don't really see it all that much, and this one just, like, cranks that dial up. Like, it has a lot of humor, which is what I really like about it, story-wise. And then the gameplay, you know, typical turn-based RPG, but they add in a bunch of different mechanics, like you can kick a Koopa shell and kick it back and forth between Mario and Luigi, and just keep tapping the button to the timing of it bouncing back to each character, and you can just rack up damage and do stuff like that. Mario and Luigi each have elemental abilities and things like that, so it's a really fun game. I really like Superstar Saga. I haven't played the Bowser's Minions portion of it, so I have to get into that. This is also a recent one that I got, was SMT4 Apocalypse. This was one of the games that my friend had back in the day, and I was always super jealous because I could never find a copy of it, because I got into SMT way too late, so I missed out on a lot of those games. Oh yeah, I forgot. I bought another copy of this, Tales of Abyss, because it had the case, so definitely wanted to get my hands on that. Don't really have much else to say because I already talked about it. Here's the first, Project X Zone, right here. So that's pretty cool. Same thing, you know. It's a fighting game slash RPG-esque. It's not like a full-on RPG. It just has kind of RPG elements in there, but you have all your different Capcom and Bandai Namco characters and Sega characters, stuff like that. This one I searched forever to find, and I was super excited. I actually bought it twice. Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. Whenever the 3DS stuff started coming out about them closing down the eShop and everything 3DS related just started going up. Like a bunch of different stuff, especially the ones that came out later in the lifespan of the 3DS, because they didn't print as many. And this was definitely one of them. And it was one of the situations where I was kind of getting out of the 3DS too, so I never bothered to buy it on day one. I was like, oh, I'll find it. Like it'll be cheap. Like it's not going to be a big deal. And of course, how it always happens, especially with Nintendo stuff, like just randomly out of the blue, it'll start disappearing and people are buying it on eBay. I had a screenshot of this game that sold for over $100, not sealed, just the game with the case. Since then, it hasn't been as crazy, but I was able to find this at a local store for only, I think, $35 or something like that. But I had already purchased a cart only, because that was the only way I was able to find it. I found it at GameStop, so I ended up buying that one. So I have 2 copies of this now. Shifting World. This is one I picked up recently also, because I know I've talked about this in a pickup video. It's a really cool puzzle platforming game where you have, it's like a noir almost type thing where it's all black and white, and you have to shift, obviously, shift through the world. Like you have your black blocks and your white blocks, and you have to like turn to be able to get to the space where you need to be, and figure out puzzles that way. You have to go through these doors. That's like the main goal, is to get to the door at the end and everything. Pretty cool game. These I'm just going to kind of sift through real quick. These are the small portion of Japanese imports that I have. Can't remember the title of this game. It's like a mech penguin fight. It's almost like LBX in a way, kind of, because you can customize the robot that your penguin fights in. So that's pretty cool. We have Yokai Busters, also known as Yokai Strikers, I think. Yokai Blaster. I can't remember. But it did come out in the US, and the US version is super duper expensive. And I found this for a fraction of the price. So I'm like, you know what? Just to at least try it out, even though I won't be able to read anything, that was worth it to me. Monster Strike. I mainly got this one because I had seen the anime. I just randomly scrolling through Crunchyroll and saw this, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's kind of up my alley for nostalgic reasons, you know, growing up with Pokemon, Bakugan, Yu-Gi-Oh! It like fits all those bills. It's like it's a turn-based RPG, like, well, the anime isn't, obviously, but it's just like a monster collecting game, or monster collecting anime, even, like with Pokemon and Bakugan. It's all these high school kids fighting their monsters and stuff like that. Digimon Universe. I mainly just got this because I didn't know there were any Digimon games on the 3DS, and this one just looked really cool. So there's that one. And then last but not least, Metabots. 7, I guess. I mean, there are a lot of Metabots games. We did not get like any of them besides like Game Boy. But again, just I didn't think they were still making Metabot games. I guess it's still pretty popular in Japan. Definitely is not over here in the US. But that is okay, because well, Well, I guess it's not okay. Why aren't they in the U.S.? Just put them out here. If they don't sell, they don't sell. It's fine. At least do them digitally or something. That'd be kind of cool. Because I like Medabots. I remember watching Medabots when I was a kid. So, yeah. I think I'm going to end this part here. So this will be part 1 of my 3DS collection. Hope you liked the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I probably won't upload them back to back. This will be part 1. And you know what? No, that would get too convoluted. Yeah, I'll upload this one and then film the second part and then upload that one shortly after. I'll probably upload it a couple days after. And then I'll do the pickup video after that. So, yeah, hopefully you guys like the 3DS stuff. It seems like a lot of people are really into the 3DS and seem to like my videos about the 3DS, which I really appreciate. So thanks for everybody watching those and feeling the want, I guess, to comment on stuff. I always like reading comments and stuff like that. So it's cool that people have still been doing that on the top 10 games I predict will go up in price. That video still gets comments on it, which is pretty neat. So yeah, until the next one, see ya.